which I don't think they're going to do. What they've signed nothing in my eyes. They've got no date, no venue, no nothing. Tyson needs to fight twice this year, with or without AJ. Tyson's not bothered about any heavyweight on the planet. He's past all that being bothered about this man and that man. It's a business to Tyson, and we need to move on and get a living properly and sharpen his tools and keep him sharp in case that big night comes knocking. But I think they're dragging reels a bit because they don't want it. Don't blame them.
But there is a piece of paper with their signatures on it, right?
What does it mean if you can't get a date and a venue? You know, what does it mean if nobody's willing to put the money up? You know, it's all about somebody coming forward and saying, right, I'll pay for the fight, I'll stage the fight. Where are these people?
And is that the position in your eyes at the moment?
That's the position it's in, and I don't think they can get it together. It's too big for what's happening in the climate the world's in at the moment. And I just don't think the time is right for a fight of that magnitude with the state of the world at the minute. We need to get him out with it.
Oh man, bad news for old media. Joshua versus Fury. Doubts are cast on this fight by none other than John Fury, the father of Tyson Fury. There's only one Tyson Fury. We're gonna talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Let's jump right into it. They had some BT Sports fights, and in the building was John Fury, and he shed some new doubts on Joshua Fury happening during this pandemic. This is a direct quote. I'm going to read the quotes and then give my thoughts. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Stay tuned. Keep it locked to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. I promise you, this year we working, we trying everything, we doing different things. It's up. John Fury says, quote, "We need to get Tyson Fury out, whether these Cowboys get the job sorted, which I don't think they're going to do." And that was regarding the Joshua Fury negotiations. He continues by saying, "What have they signed? They've signed nothing in my eyes. They've got no date, no venue, no nothing." Right? I don't think they can get it all together. It's too big for what's happening in the climate in the world at the moment. I just don't think the timing is right for a fight of that magnitude with the state of the world. It's a business for Tyson Fury, and we need to move on, get a living properly, sharpen his tools, and keep him sharp just in case the big night does come knocking. Wow. Bad news, and it looks like to all the haters, Ego Stradamus is about to strike again. Now, I know some of you guys you're tired of hearing that, but I'm tired of being right. Ego Stradamus, the legendary, the great, is about to strike again. So, old media, let them tell it. You know, the Joshua Fury fight is sold up, and they got 9 to 10 investors lining up, chomping at the bit to host this fight. It was reported that contracts were signed. I told you guys on my channel that I wasn't going to get hyped up and fall for it into believing that the fight was done and signed, sealed, delivered, just because ESPN came out, Mark Kriegel came out with an article which stated that the contracts were signed. You hear John Fury, the father of Tyson Fury, and that's his son, so I don't have any idea why he would have to, you know, when I say this stuff, they say I'm a hater, but what reason would his father have to hate on him? You know what I mean? So it's clear that we live in a society where if you tell the truth, tell the truth, then it gets labeled as hate. But I don't worry about that. The great Ego Stradamus never worries about that. I continue to put out the message. Hopefully it resonates. And then, you know, what's done in the dark comes to light. We'll see what it is and what it ain't. And for this Joshua Fury fight, it looks like it ain't. You know, John Fury, he's casting doubts. You had Usyk's promoter with K2 Promotions, Alex, and he's casting doubts. And the reason he's involved in this is because Usyk is the mandatory for Joshua's belt. So he's saying that the fight with Joe Joyce probably won't happen because that was going to happen. An interim fight was going to happen to allow for a fight with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to not influence or get in the way of that. But if that doesn't happen, then there's no reason for Usyk to not get his shot at the mandatory belt or a title shot. So you have major parties kind of involved with the situation, and they're all casting doubts, just like the great Ego Stradamus did, right? Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn, you know, he'll tell anyone who's listening that contracts are signed, and they've been saying the same thing for over a year. Tyson Fury did a video, and he said, "Daniel, my boy, get up there, Daniel, my boy." And he said he got off the phone with Daniel Kinahan, who they said is on the lam, and that the fight was orchestrated. All he had to do is smash Wilder to bits, and then there's a 2-fight deal already signed. But now you had in here from Tyson Fury's own father, he's saying that's not the case. And it's funny because you see old media, BT Sport, they asked him, they said, "So is there a contract signed?" They do have a signed piece of paper. And John Fury immediately shuts that down because it's foolish. And what John Fury did say was accurate. Who cares if they have a signed piece of paper? He says they have no time, no date, no venue. They don't have the money behind it. And it's a work against the clock. And we're also in a pandemic. So how is this fight going to happen? Meanwhile, they say ego's biased. They say the great Ego Stradamus don't know, right? But you tell me what it is. We'll see. You know, it ain't over till it's over. We'll see if this fight happens. But I told you, for me, 2021, we're doing different things on the channel. I'm not falling for boxing's games. I'm not going to promote things that don't need to be promoted. I'm not going to lead the fans, boxing fans. Boxing, you see, there's a lot of people who I'm starting to really believe in the game. They don't really care about boxing because they're helping to destroy it or destroy its credibility. If you really cared about boxing, why would you be doing that? Why would you do something that is so harmful to the sport of boxing, like clout chasing? But yet and still it keeps happening. You know, we keep seeing Ryan Garcia posting and saying that he's fighting Manny Pacquiao, and then people get excited for nothing. Another successful Ego Stradamus prediction, right? I said, I don't see Ryan Garcia fighting Pacquiao. I don't know where this is coming from, but the logistics don't really make sense to me. People said I was hating, and then now Ryan Garcia, he's not saying anything about Pacquiao, and he's already put out a statement that he's not fighting Pacquiao. These things continue to happen. You know, Teofimo, he recently said that he's sending 2 contracts over, one to George Kambosos, one to Devin Haney. And I told you, another successful Ego Stradamus prediction, that I doubt that the Devin Haney-Teofimo fight would be next. It's really going to be Kambosos. Who is Teofimo fighting on Triller? Okay then. He's fighting Kambosos, not Devin Haney, just as I predicted to a T. Now, in the heavyweight division, you have all this clout chasing. Tyson Fury's handlers, Eddie Hearn, and people, they're saying that the Joshua Fury, all the British teeth, bang, you're slagging them, yeah, mate, right? They keep saying that Joshua Fury is the biggest fight in boxing, which I disagree with, but they're also saying that the fight will happen. And you have Tyson Fury's own father who doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that the Joshua Fury fight can even happen right now. Now, he might not be fully vested into the business, but put the pieces together. Tyson Fury's dad is saying this. Usyk's promoter is saying that he has doubts for the fight, right? You have Tyson Fury, who recently did an interview right before John Fury, and Tyson Fury says he gave up training. He needs me a break. He says, I've been training nonstop, and I'm not training anymore. I want to drink some pints of beer or whiskey or whatever he said he wanted to drink, and he wants to relax because realistically they have nothing on the table. So once again, it looks like Eddie Hearn, aka Loki, the master of mischief, has led people astray, you know, and this is seemingly what I guess the UK and some of the representatives want to do in the sport of boxing. Dillian White beats Povetkin. Povetkin just looked horrible, and then now all of a sudden the clout chasing has come in with Dillian White and Deontay Wilder. Meanwhile, Deontay Wilder's in arbitration to get a verdict with the Tyson Fury situation. So why is the UK, why is Eddie Hearn and Dillian White, why are they screaming Deontay Wilder's name out and he's coming off a loss. Meanwhile, Tyson Fury has the belt, and I thought Dillian White wanted a title shot so bad. So why would you want to fight a guy who just lost his belt coming off a loss? And how are you calling out his name? You see what I'm saying? You see the problem here in boxing with the clout chasing. Why would you be calling out a guy who's coming off a loss if you say you want a title shot so bad, right? Why are you using Deontay Wilder's name for that purpose? I thought Dillian White wanted a title shot. He just avenged the Povetkin loss, and he got a win, and he stopped Povetkin. So why are you screaming out for a guy who lost his belt and is coming off of that loss, as opposed to calling out Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury? It's an agenda. It's clout chasing, and you see it time and time again, you know? And furthermore, like I said, Wilder's in arbitration that's pending, and it's not wrapped up yet with Tyson Fury's people and his camp. So why are you calling for a fight? And we don't even know what's going to happen with the arbitration, you know? Eddie Hearn, why are you putting out this notion that the contracts are signed, and, you know, Frank Warren and Bob Arum are getting mad because Eddie Hearn just keeps talking, and you're leading people astray, and it's like you're purposely giving misinformation and bad information. How come PBC is not doing this? Like, they haven't said what Pacquiao's next move. They haven't hinted to anything. Like, it's like we're dealing with little kids or something, blabbermouths that can't keep a secret. If you're doing the business for Joshua Fury, just announce it when it's finalized and it's done and the ink is dried. But instead, you got Eddie Hearn running around and telling everybody that the fight is imminent and, you know, it's signed contracts, giving people really a false hope, you know, giving people a false hope that the fight can happen for the people who really want to see it, and, you know, fake trying to build it up. Why? What's the point of that? Only to discourage people, when just like Ryan Garcia versus Pacquiao, or Devin Haney being allegedly sought out by Teofimo, and then it doesn't happen. How is this good for boxing? Can you imagine if the NBA operated like this, where the NBA, you know, they're going to play 82 games a year. You know the schedule in advance. Boxing is a unique sport, and people aren't doing things to preserve that. You know the Lakers got to see the Warriors or the Clippers or the Celtics or whatever team, and you can anticipate that. But in boxing, it is so much different. It's so different because injuries happen, failed drug tests happen, pullouts happen, you know, things fall apart, and it's not a team sport. So you have people who are continually giving boxing a black eye by prematurely putting out information, and the sport as a whole gets viewed and looked at as a laughing stock to some of the other sports. That's why I'm not condoning that behavior. That's why I'm not using my channel for evil. That's why I'm doing things the way I'm doing it. So if I'm the only person in boxing that's willing to do this, that's fine, but it's going to be that. But at the end of the day, when it is written, my credibility will still be intact, because I'm not playing these games that boxing is playing. Like I said from the beginning, Joshua Fury, I don't see it happening. If it is going to happen, you know, why do you need to say anything prematurely? Why don't you just put out flyers and the press conference and stuff like that? Why is John Fury doing interviews saying that they have nothing? Who cares about a signed piece of paper? They have no investors. How are you putting on a fight and you don't even know who's going to put up the crazy money that is going to require to pay the people? Let alone we're dealing with the pandemic. We're not, people are acting like we're out of the pandemic. The pandemic is still very real. This is not over. You know, some people are getting vaccinated and stuff, but it's far from over. And you got Eddie Hearn and people in boxing playing these games, giving people a false hope. And, you know, I stand against that. Let me know what you guys think. But more bad news for old media. I told you this year, crush your enemies totally. And people will not prevail doing this stuff in boxing because it hurts the sport of boxing. So we anti that. I agree with John Fury. You know, you gotta do more. Where's the money? Where's the date? Where's the venue? They said they had 30 days. This was a couple weeks ago. They said the fight was already signed last year. What gives? Where's the announcement? Let us know. So if it ain't that, then we don't care about it. Ego's Army, let's get it. Digital Mob. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.